Hello and welcome back to the conversation. I knew you were coming back for this one for sure, right? Today we're discussing love languages and how they can help us better communicate with the one we love without all that fuss and fight. We're not doing that. Psychologist Dr. Aldwin Tart and licensed professional counselor Latoya Hayes are translating those love languages spelled out in that best-selling book from 1990. And it turns out there are some love languages that just don't necessarily line up. It makes sense, right? There's some personalities that don't necessarily line up. Right?
Exactly, yeah. And so it's, again, like we were saying before, it's being intentional. So you may have different love languages, but if you're intentional and you're sincere about your relationship and being fulfilled within that relationship, you're going to have to do some work.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Right, and if we talk about relationship skills, the number one factor that keeps couples together, marital satisfaction. How are you going to have marital satisfaction if you're not loving me the top 3 ways I want to be loved? You coming in at the bottom 2. That's not going, because this is who I am. Well, you're not loving me better than another partner could.
Right.
And that means for me to stay in this, I have to go without my top 3 love languages for 40, 50 years. That's not going to work.
And maybe that is the cue then. If the person maybe is, what is it? You're asking the right questions, you're just asking the wrong person. Right. That may be the cue that there may be, time to go in a different
just
direction.
Adapt. Relationships are not about being perfect. They're about making perfect adjustments. So learn how to do acts of service. Learn how to cook one time. Uber Eats and just put it on a plate.
Just put it on
the last minute. Take it out the skillet. Do something.
And avoid certain things. So if you know your partner's love language is words of affirmation, insults, that's very injuring to that person.
Yeah.
So that may not be your love language, but then not only are you not loving that person according to their love language, you're also doing them harm by not even trying or doing the opposite with the insults.
So that if you know, that's a good point, because that means if that gift giving is their big thing, you can't miss the birthday.
Exactly.
You can't miss the anniversary.
Exactly.
Those are going to be your opportunities to really step up and raise the bar, right?
Because of the meaning behind it. So a gift could mean you think of me. It's not about how much it costs, but I like fresh flowers.
Right.
So you get me fresh flowers once a week. And so that's a gift for me that shows you love me.
Right.
Yes, indeed. Okay, so we know you both were coming, and we both fluent in love languages. So we've got some questions from the viewers, and here's one from a fellow in Washington.
Hey, Portia. So my name is Josh, and I'm from Seattle. I love my partner dearly, but I happen to show them that appreciation through my love language, which is acts of service, versus their love language, which is words of affirmation. So I just wanted to get your advice on how I could show them that they are loved and very much appreciated, but just through their love language.
You know how you pull up? You know how you pull up to the fast food? You get a combo? That brother needs to do a combo, all right? So while he's doing acts of service, he's also giving words of affirmation, right? You don't have to change who you are. You can combine them. Like a really good lover does all 3, all 5 in the same day, just in different combinations. So while doing an acts of service for her, maybe cook or his partner, they can do dinner, also affirming the partner, saying, what you said was really funny, or I really enjoyed that.
And how helpful is it just to say, and full disclosure here, when I was going through counseling at one point, it was, when you say this, I hear this. Exactly. When you do this, it makes me so. There's also something to just pouring back in and sort of reaffirming, you heard me right this time, or did I hear you right this time, right?
Also, too, it's going to be awkward for him at first. So instead of just throwing out compliments, with people who their love language is words of affirmation, they like the meaning behind the word too. So don't just say the words. It's like, you look beautiful today. So it's like, well, why? I love that color on you.
That suit's really hitting in the right spot.
Exactly.
So. Got it. All right, this is good. Okay, we've got a Portia show viewer named Kirsten who has a question about communicating with her beau.
Hey Portia, this is Kirsten from Atlanta, Georgia. I'm just curious to know, how do I meet my partner in the middle if he prefers texting and I prefer talking on the phone?
So much gets lost in translation on these texts.
Exactly. Communication skills. That's like what you were talking about before, meeting in the middle. So if she likes to talk on the phone, he likes to text, okay, what is the common ground here that we can come to? And also, too, how can we communicate in those means? So if you're just texting me, how will I know your words, the inflection or the meanings behind your words, and it's not just a, YWD, or WYD,
You just triggered me. Don't trigger me on the show. Doc, though, but if you're a texter and she's a talker or vice versa,
it's not about that. I thought we were we. And so does it work for us? It's like a business. That doesn't work for us.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to do something different. So we can start with text and then that can end in a phone conversation, right? Or we can start with a conversation and then finish this via text, right? So we need to make sure this works for us because one of the other things that keeps people together is mutual investment. I need to know that you're working and having mutual sacrifice too. So you're giving away, you're dying to self too, right? To meet me where I am, and I'm doing the same thing for you. So I might text when I really want to talk, and you might talk when you don't want to text.
Right, and maybe that's part of the listen on these topics. We have to have the conversation.
I don't like to text anyway.
I know it is just
open up your mouth and communicate.
Because if you can't, there may be some indication there that there's. I mean, I'm not trying to sound like the one who's like, go separate ways. I don't want to say that. But that adaptation is really going to be critical here, or we're going to always struggle in this area, right?
So you have to think is, okay, your way, my way, but what is our way? When you're in a relationship, what is our way now?
And you can't get too deep with text. So language, conversation, body language.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just put your neck roll.
Right.
Is what I need. Well, I ain't mean it like that.
Right. What you saying?
Text is so hard to interpret. So we need more intimacy, being so engaged with social media.
Yeah.
I would just say, in that case, let's do mostly verbal.
Verbal.
Me,
And the
not
texts
we.
need to set up the verbal conversation.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We can schedule text.
Call me. Don't say we need to talk though.
8 o'clock. 8 o'clock. We talking, baby.
Right. I love it. All right. When we return, do you actually know your love language? And as we've talked about, what about if you have more than one? How it changes, how it evolves. The conversation continues when we return. Stay with us.